Hey guys, it's Kayla here. Welcome to another episode of Kayla C Knits. We are still doing the Stephen West MKAL, and I guess I will start with that. Let's see what the time is right now. I'm gonna say until 3 minutes in. If you don't want any spoilers, skip ahead to 3 minutes. And I will stick with it this time. I think I went like 5 seconds over last time. But I will start off with that. And again, skip ahead at 3 minutes if you don't want any spoilers on the 2021 Stephen West MKAL Shawlography. Okay. Now that the disclaimer has gone through, this is my very earthy shawl. Now, if you didn't see my last episode, I did kind of bend the rules a little bit. It was not recommended to use anything multicolored beyond a speckle. Now, I definitely am with this old skein of Allegria. I forget what the colorway was, but I bought this a long time ago. So there's definitely a lot of color in there. Now I actually am really loving the effect that we've got so far. So I'm still on clue 2. I'm nearing the end of clue 2. I'm starting to do short rows just at the very beginning of section 9. So there you get like a proper view of everything I've done so far. I am on a 50-inch cable and it's still not enough space, so this is not really going to be able to be enjoyed in its full glory until it's done. I feel like at this point this texture is so far beyond anything I have done before. I was a little skeptical with some of it at first. I will say, for those of you, if you are watching here right now, I've got 40 more seconds. If you are still on clue 1 and you want to give up when you're doing the slip stitch little V's because your fabric starts curling, don't give up. And don't loosen your gauge more than you normally would. I did that in my first little section here, and I mean, over time with blocking it's gonna let go, but really just don't do it. Anyway, sticking to my promise, we're at 3 minutes. Spoiler alert is gone. What else is happening? I am wearing my throw over sweater by Andrea Mowry. I made this out of scrap Lion Brand, just acrylic yarn. I'm pretty sure it's acrylic. Yeah, it's just Lion Brand yarn that I had left over. The yellow was used to make a dog sweater. The gray was used to make a hat. I just had this random stuff and I just wanted to use up some of this old stash. Most of the time I do like to use some nicer indie yarns and handmade yarns, but this, I wanted to make a green sweater and I had it and I wanted to try the pattern, and I actually really enjoyed the process of this. I found that the sweater itself came together so quickly that that the sleeves were not too much of a sleeve island. I still got to the point where I was like, oh, and I have to do the sleeves, but they were pretty quick. Now, I don't think I did my gauge properly, because, so if you look on my Instagram, which is Kayla C Knits, I originally started this as with the gray as the base, and I did the whole yoke and then realized I wasn't gonna have enough yarn, and I went to go buy more, and what I was using as the base didn't exist anymore, at least at the store I went to. So I think when I switched to the green, my gauge changed. That's what I will say, because I've learned to start checking my gauge after multiple decades of knitting. But I really enjoyed making this whole yoke. So that being said, the yoke I think was ended up being a lot longer, like my elbow's right here. So it made it so that I didn't have to do too much on sleeves. But I really like it, and I don't like a deep armpit. For all of the sweater patterns that I have made, my arms are always too big for the rest of the sweater, like as far as size goes. Like that was what I had to do when, I think it was my Velocore. I like finished my Velocore, I tried it on, and it was like so tight on my arm. And I tore the whole thing apart, and it was heartbreaking. But I have a complete one. It just, everything has to be woven in stone. And if you notice little bits on this one still has to be tidied up. So, but I thought I would wear one of my hand knits for the video today. So anyway, I really enjoyed this. I think this was the Rhinebeck sweater from either a year or 2 years ago. I now have this aspiration of going to Rhinebeck now that I am starting to become a little bit more a part of the community. It is actually drivable from where I am in Southern Ontario. I have been to a festival in that general area before. So I would, yeah, maybe next year. It's on the wish list. Okay. What else have I finished since I last saw you? I think this was complete. I don't know if I should, I can't remember, but I'm wearing it today anyway. But I finished my Briochealicious, and I love it so much. Okay, so this is technically the right side where it's, now I did not do different colors. I did a very subtle speckled yarn, and this is considered the wrong side. But I wear it with the wrong side showing because I love the little changing color. So this is a really, it's longer than my arm length. It's probably 6.5 feet wingspan. But I absolutely love it. I love the color. I've already worn it out. And I just go around and around, and I like wearing it like a big cowl. So when I put, especially a shawl like this on, I just tuck the ends in. I love having my neck surrounded in a soft, squishy fabric. It's probably more appropriate for me to have my hair up with it, but it is that time of year. So this is how I will wear the Briochealicious shawl. In the end, I think there's like pushing maybe 450 stitches on the needles. So it is a long, it's a long go. That being said, like the final result is so worth it. I haven't even blocked it yet, and I've been wearing it out, and I just love it. And that's, I think it was published a long time ago, but definitely worth visiting. It's brioche and garter. Brioche and garter. So it's a great project if knitting is a little bit newer to you. If you haven't done brioche before, use two very different colors, and it's really just increases. I'm pretty happy with this start. I've done this, I think it's garter tab cast on, and it's been a lot bumpier before, but I'm pretty happy with how smooth that transition is. Now blocking will probably help a little bit of this ripple that's going on, but for the most part I'm really happy. And if I drape it over my shoulders, the brioche sections are so nice for just kind of like hugging around, and if you haven't felt brioche before, it's so nice and squishy. Okay, so on that note, talking about brioche and garter, I have a few projects that I am looking forward to casting on. The kind of long-term goal is to start making my own patterns, partly because of my sweater situation, because I have to modify sweaters so much anyway because my arms never fit. But anyway, I've been doing some of these, some other people's patterns just to kind of see what it is that I like and what I want to put out there. So anyway, talking about brioche and garter, I am going to be doing Stephen West's Tri-Gradient Shawl, which is, his pattern was done with one of his yarns combined with spin cycle dyed in the wool. This is the closest I've ever gone to like true to pattern. I didn't want to order online, but I did get, one of my local yarn shops does have spin cycle, so I splurged and I got some spin cycle. So I'm going to be using, I've already wound one ball, but I'll show you the ones that aren't wound yet. So I'm going to be doing the Tri-Gradient Shawl in Close Call, which is this here. And it has a gray undertone. So my contrast yarn is Polar Morn, and this is a Malabrigo sock yarn, which I purchased when I was at West and I didn't know what I was gonna do with it. And this is like so soft. So this is going to happen. It looks a lot bluer on the screen, but there is some really good matches in here. And I took these apart already and I was able to find some pretty close matches. So I think that the fade is going to be very nice fade. So that's that. What else do I have here? I have, that's not really, I don't know. I might do another Briochealicious. I've got Sand and Notebook by Allegria, and I love that shawl so much. Who knows, I might make another, but this has got like a really pretty fade to it. I'm sorry about the blurriness. I'm trying this new lens and I'm not sure if I'm going to use it again. Hopefully you can at least see my face. We'll see what happens when it's blown up on the big screen. I'm just kind of experimenting as I start this vlog. I also, for future projects, I purchased some hedgehog fibers. I guess this is kind of like a yarn haul video in a way. Okay, so I got Hedgehog. My favorite local yarn shop, Hand Knit, got Hedgehog back in stock and I had to go visit. So these two are actually different. Liebling is the middle one here, and Heron is this one on this hand. I'm not sure if you're gonna see right or left. And this one is Film Noir. And these three beside each other have such a beautiful blend. So I'm saving these until I figure out my own first pattern, and I want to do a fade with these guys. I don't know if I will do a brioche with it. I think I might just do like eyelets and garter and keep it really simple. There's a squirrel outside. So I got these, and I'm going to do a sweater with this one. This is Serengeti. I got 2 skeins of these. I think there's gonna be enough, but I'm able to use, I have my Julie Asselin Lezu fingering green that's a very close match to this, so I might be able to mix that in a little bit if I need a little extra yardage. And for something completely different, this is Phoenix, also Hedgehog. I was gonna do socks with it because it's Socktober, but I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. This is like so bold and bright and something that I don't normally ever use, but I'm gonna find a way to step out of my comfort zone. Okay, so enough of future projects, because I'm gonna try to keep these videos as close to like 20 minutes as possible. I feel like I could probably talk for 45. I haven't made much progress on my little old sock, but still kicking. It's stays in the, this is a packing cube that I bought at Indigo, that is my travel knitting. So this goes in my purse wherever I go. So if I'm stuck somewhere and I need to do something with my hands, I have knitting. So my sock lives in there, and my shorties needles, because that's just where they're living right now. I think it's a little silly that I have them in there, but they're in there. And I am working on a hat for a friend. So I am using, I have no idea where the little tab is, but this is an alpaca. Oh, I can't remember who it's by, but this is like, I'm gonna put it on Instagram so you can see the amount of fuzz. I know if I go close to you, it's all blurred up and it's not gonna focus. But I'm using the hat pattern that, actually I'll go grab it so you can see. So this is a hat pattern that I designed. Again, I can't remember if I mentioned it, but if you haven't seen my last video, then you get to see it anyway. So I designed this a couple years ago. I am done charting it. I finally figured out my needle size because it was 2 years. And I'm using this pattern with the little flop. I'm using this pattern as a foundation for this hat. My stockinette stitch gauge was identical, but when I went to this braided rib, it just threw it off completely. So I'm doing the braided rib to the same length, but it's a different stitch count, a different gauge, and then I'm gonna knit the cap of the hat the same way. So that's what I'm doing, because she loves the color orange, and it's like this super soft, almost like mohairy alpaca. It's a little rough to knit on these needles, but I'm making it happen because this braided rib is just, it's pretty stellar. What else do I have? I have not made any progress on the other sweater that I was doing, so I'm not going to show you that again. And I think that's all I've got for now. I thank you all for coming and hanging out with me again. And yeah, if you're not following me on Instagram, I'm going to start being more active on there as well. My Instagram is Kayla C Knits, SEA. And that's all I've got for today. I hope you guys have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are at, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.